Hey, happy Friday. It's Jennifer from the Somerset County Family Community Health Science Department, and we are live in our kitchen ready to make pumpkin cookies. Okay. Hope you can see okay. All right, I've prepared some of the ingredients ahead of time. The main star of our pumpkin cookies obviously is pumpkin puree. So I have a bowl that I'm going to combine my wet ingredients. I have a little pumpkin puree left over from a class I did yesterday with the 4-H. We made pumpkin pudding. Basically, it was a vanilla pudding that we added some pumpkin puree and spice to it to kick it up a notch and give it that flavor. So we're going to use a half of a cup of the pumpkin puree. So, right, this is pumpkin season. Getting to make a lot of great dishes and baked goods with pumpkin. Okay, so we have half a cup of pumpkin puree. I have 1 egg that I've already mixed. And I have 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Okay. All right, I'm just going to gently whisk this together and then set it aside. Okay, I'm going to put this to the side. I'm going to combine my dry ingredients. I have 3/4 a cup of flour. You can use whole wheat flour if you wish. This is unbleached regular white flour. And then another star of our cookie that makes it really nutritious is whole grain oats. These are old-fashioned oats, not the quick oats, so they are the larger oats. We're going to use 1½ cup of the oats. So if you like granola bars, you're going to love this cookie. Okay, so we have our flour, our oats. We're going to use 2 sugars. We're going to have a 1/4 cup of just regular white granulated sugar. And then a 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar. I don't have dark brown sugar, so we're using light brown sugar. That actually doesn't matter. So you just want the variation. I'm just going to spoon it because it is a little hard. A trick, a hack. I know we love our hacks in the kitchen. My mom had always told me this hack. When your light or brown sugar is starting to get really, really hard, you can put a piece of bread in the bag of the sugar. And the moisture just gets your sugar nice and moist. So you have nice light sugar. So love a good kitchen hack. Remember, guys, we are collecting our guide of kitchen hacks and tools, and our first topic is kitchen tools. So I want you to comment below. Last week, you guys commented on some of your favorite kitchen tools. So we have our brown sugar, we have our regular sugar, and now we're going to add our baking powder. Okay, we have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And we have a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Now this is a cakey cookie. It's not a cookie that is really going to spread or rise or get flat. It's going to kind of stay in the consistency. We have a 1/4 cup of salt. We have a 1/4 cup of nutmeg. So now we're adding those really great fall spices in here. Ground cloves. If you don't have ground cloves, you can certainly use a 1/4 cup of allspice as well. And we're going to take it up a notch with the cinnamon. We're going to do 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon. Okay, that just smells like fall. I'm just going to gently mix this together. Now we're going to add this to our wet ingredients. Alrighty. We're just going to gently whisk this. I found when I made my my first batch, it's a lot easier just to kind of get in there and use your hands like you're making meatballs. So that's actually what I'm going to do. That's all out of the whisk. This is a great kitchen tool, right? We use this a lot. All right, I'm going to just use my hands and get this all mixed together. And then we're gonna add a sweet ingredient to top this off. Okay. So I have my oven heating at 250 degrees, and I've lined baking pans with parchment paper. I've measured out a half a cup of chocolate chips and a half a cup of dried cranberries. Those are my add-ins, but you can totally have fun with butterscotch chips. You could use raisins, whatever add-ins that you like. I'm just gonna wash my hands here. You don't want to overmix the dough. Like I said, the dough is going to be thick because these are going to be like cake-like cookies. So let's clear a space here. I have my parchment paper lined. And you're just going to take like a tablespoon, and it's just going to be a basic drop cookie. So just about that, and just drop it down. I don't know if you can see. Drop it down in the pan, and they're not going to adjust. So you take the back of your spoon and just flatten it out slightly. The original recipe, I'm going to post this in the comments. The original recipe that I found this, it said it made 12 to 16 cookies. And those are kind of big cookies. So when I made my batch, I got about 20 cookies out of it. So using your teaspoon is the perfect size. And you can fit about 12 on a pan, 10 to 12. You just want to space them out. Like I said, they're not going to really change. The aroma just smells so good in this kitchen. Right? You can eat these as a snack, a dessert after dinner, or quite frankly, even for breakfast, because you have the nutrition from the pumpkin and from the oats. Okay, just gonna finish lining this. Now the pumpkin pudding that I made yesterday with my class that I did, we did a virtual class, that was just a box of regular pudding, and you just mix it as, you know, as indicated on the box with 2 cups of cold milk, and you add 1 cup of pumpkin puree from the can, and then a little bit of the spice. So the kids loved it. If you like pumpkin pie, you would love that as a sweet treat. And one of the girls had a graham cracker shell, and she actually put her pudding into the little mini graham cracker shell and topped it with a little whipped cream, right? How smart is that? A budding chef on the way. Okay, so we've lined this on here. I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees. Okay. Now here is the finished product. I'll come close so that you guys can see. Okay, I'm going to grab a good cookie here. So you can see you're going to bake it in the oven for about 12 to 14 minutes, just that it's cooked and slightly brown on the bottom. So it's not a perfect circle, and that's fine for a cookie. It really has the consistency of a granola bar with the oats, the moisture from the pumpkin, the moisture from the egg, the sweetness from the chocolate chips, and the dried cranberries. So yeah, my family had tested this out. They really loved it. This is something fun that you can make in the kitchen with your kiddos. And if you like to read, I wanted to share this book with you. I highly recommend this book. It's called Pumpkin Day, and it is by Nancy Elizabeth Wallace. I just thought it was such a cute book, and I shared this with my class yesterday because it's about a rabbit family, and it takes them through the process of the farm, learning about how pumpkins grow and the shapes and the sizes, and then you take the pumpkin home, and what do you do with it? You carve it, and then you roast the seeds, and you eat the seeds, and you make pumpkin pancakes and pumpkin muffin and pumpkin bread. So that's really fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cookie recipe. I will share it in the comments below. If you could share in the comments below, I mentioned this last Tuesday when I was on making the cauliflower soup using the immersion blender. That's a favorite tool that I use a lot in the fall. We want to hear from you. What is your favorite kitchen tool? So comment below. We're taking comments all the way through next Friday. I did bring my favorite to show you, which I had said was the microplane zester, right? It comes with the safety. And I use this for citrus, my lemon, my orange, my limes. I just put it in baked goods. I put it on salads, pastas, chicken, everything. So I mentioned it last week. I wanted to show it to you. And if you're baking, you can also grate like chocolate. If you wanted to put, if you were making a pumpkin bread and you wanted to put a little bit of chocolate on top or coconut, you can grind that up and use it for baking as well. So this is such a functional tool that I love in my kitchen. So join us next week, next Friday. We're going to be talking about Halloween, getting ready for Halloween and making some fun Halloween treats that your kids and family will love, but they will be healthy. They'll be healthy and fun. Have a great weekend.